What's up? It has been a very, very long time since I've held this camera in my hands because walking is slightly different and I am very unstable physically as far as balance is concerned compared to prior to my MS attack. So today's a big day. I should be receiving word about my delivery date from my medication finally after session after session of denial. I will finally be on medication soon. Let me knock on some freaking wood just in case, because you never know. It's just me, doggies. Speaking of doggies, look at this photo that I took. I blew it up and gave it as a housewarming gift from my madre. So let's talk about a couple things that I'm going through, and maybe you can sympathize or empathize what I've been going through and what it's like, as opposed to the very vague I have MS. So let's go over some things. Are you in focus? So number one, loss of sensation basically from about my chest down. I'm starting to get sensation back. Finally. It's very splotchy. So it's like you painted my legs with sensation, but instead of using a paintbrush, you used balloons. And so there are areas of my legs that have sensation, but it's very dull. So let's talk over some of my symptoms and what I'm going through. What the? If I have to get up or get interrupted shooting this thing one more time. Why is my lens so dirty? It is a used lens. I don't know if you can tell, but I bought a full frame f2 28 millimeter because the 50 was way too zoomed in on my face. The medication that I'm on for my nerves, turns out one of the side effects is rage. No. So let's talk about some of my symptoms and what I've been going through. First of all, I was relying heavily on this guy, and I had to get some special sliders for the carpet on it. Been relying heavily on that. Was for the first, I'd say like 6 weeks when I was going through physical therapy. A lot of resistance band training to get my legs working because my gait was messed up. Your gait is how you walk in the space between your legs and stuff. I actually couldn't tell, for the most part, I couldn't tell if my foot was on the floor because my legs were so numb at the beginning. And they were so numb that I would try to lift my left leg up before my right leg was actually on the ground. And I'd fall a lot of falls in the first couple of weeks first couple of weeks before the ER. And then I think I fell like maybe 3 times in the first month out of the ER. But yeah, it was rough, man. Luckily, all my falls except for one were in like relatively safe areas. The only fall that wasn't in a safe area, I got really lucky. I have like a storage room at my house, and it's where I keep like all my extra electronics. I keep my guitars in there. I keep all... Stop, Max. Relax, please. Crackhead. Chill. Talking to the dog. A storage room for all this music equipment that I inadvertently inherited, and I fell in there. Oh man, I just fell in like the only spot that I could fall without falling on top of a piece of electronic equipment. And I don't mean like amplifiers, I mean like preamps and stuff of that nature, stuff that you would mount to a rack. Max, relax. You want to be in the video or what? Max. Shake. Ho ho, who's a good dogger? Who's a good doggo? I think he's being, because I'm talking to the camera instead of him, so he's getting all anxious. Relax. Anyways, I fell a couple times. At a photo shoot. I did a family photo shoot where I did just some really cute stuff with a friend of mine from high school, and the shots came out really, really well. They liked it, but during the event is when I started having my attack, and it got to the point where his name is Brian, but he was like helping me take steps because I could hardly move my legs, you know, and my legs are very uncoordinated compared to before the attack. I have a hard time just like walking back and forth to the fridge. Most of the time I use a cane. I have 2 walkers. I have one for inside. I have one to go back and forth to the cars, like if I need to go to a doctor's appointment, because I can't drive anymore. I haven't driven in it's probably been like 3 weeks now. I haven't been able to drive because the sensation in my right leg is just gone. So I can't feel the pedals. For a while I could. I had enough sensation in my leg that I could go to the convenience store nearby and come back. It's only 2 blocks, so it wasn't like that big of a deal. But now it's too scary, man. And you know, my vision is better. At the beginning, my vision was super affected. Basically like this big area, and maybe I'll do something in post so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. At this big L shape where I could not see. It was so bright and my eyes were super wide open, you know? So everything was so bright, and then I was getting dizzy all the time, so I was like taking a lot of over-the-counter anti-nausea medication, you know? What is it called? Anyways, I was taking that on the regular because I was like nauseous all the time and I couldn't play first-person shooters. I still have a very hard time playing first-person shooters because the motion blur that's built into the games actually makes me nauseous. I get like car sick, motion sick, and I've never had that before. Like, I think a roller coaster would actually make me vomit because like just moving my head around too fast, and even playing a video game with like mouse and keyboard or controller, as I'm moving around, the motion blur makes me physically ill. And so I haven't been able to play a lot of first person shooters. I've been playing a lot of League. You know, I just started playing I've been playing Among Us, which is real easy, no motion blur. Started playing Phasmophobia, and like my vision's significantly better compared to 2 months ago. 2 months ago, man, I remember my sister driving me to a doctor's appointment, and I was having like full-blown panic attacks because I thought I was constantly having the sensation that we were about to rear end somebody because I couldn't tell where the cars and other lanes were. Scary, scary stuff, man.